Next streaming software to go live. Okay, we're live. You may notice I'm off screen and there's literally nobody here, but that's
nobody
fine.
here. Just us.
I'm off screen because I live in the great northeast and it's like
Are you
20.
sure we're live?
Yes,
I guess
we're live.
Huh.
And I see there's 13 people here.
Oh,
And so if I hop on the camera, it'll kick me off. It may still kick me off, but I've been trying to get on for like 10 minutes without it kicking me off, and it just kept kicking me off.
Yeah, and I'm having some wild internet issues, so it may just be you, Anne, but I'm on at the moment.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be hilarious?
It'd be fun.
Ooh, we got comments. Excited
Hello.
for this live. Thanks for doing this. You're welcome. I'm gonna show. Ooh, I figured out how to do it. Amazing.
Okay, so you
I don't think I've signed in, so I don't have any of those
controls.
I have no controls today, Lane. You're gonna have to do it all.
I don't know how to do that though.
I think you do.
I am in Massachusetts to Ledger and Lace. Ooh, I like that name. Okay, so we are doing first pages, and I think this was Anne's idea, so I'm gonna let her explain it.
It was not my idea. It was one of our wonderful listeners' ideas.
Yes.
And they suggested we do this. And basically what we've done is we did a call out for first pages, and we have received some, and we'll get through as many as we can tonight. And the idea is that we're just going to read the first pages and kind of give an idea of like what we think, what, our opinions, reading it as agents, right? If this was something that came into our box, and that kind of thing. That's how I get it. Sorry, Kelly is texting me. Kelly is trying to join us right now, and she's having difficulties.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, Kelly. Okay, doke. So do we want to start on the first one while we await Kelly's grand arrival?
Yeah, we could do that. Sorry, I was just texting her back.
Nope.
Have you pre-read them? We have not. None of us have read any of these.
And if I could
read two. I read two.
And you read two of them. Okay, so I lied. So
no, literally 5 seconds before I popped on, I read two.
Okay.
So,
but yes. I read zero.
I read zero. And I'm just now looking at the document. So where you've written 1, 2, that's where it changes to another submission.
Correct.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Perfecto.
Well, I mean, I can download them and I can start reading one of them if people are messing around with the technology to try and enable Kelly to be present.
Yes, that would be lovely.
All right. I'm just, Anne just said we haven't read these, and also I have to make the print bigger because I have very bad eyes. We do not have like the genre or the market, the age range or anything. So I'm just reading these completely cold. If the people who wrote them are here, and I guess it would identify you if you made a comment, but we'll say what we think the genre and the market is, but if anyone wants to correct us, feel free. So I will dive into the first one, which means I can't see you right now. So yell out if you need me to stop. But this is number 1. Thank you to whoever sent this. Here goes. For as much as Sammy loved the theatre, she couldn't reconcile how it could cause her such heartache at the same time. Although the heartache was currently replaced by fury at the moment, because the nobleman, the one who had run off stage while the set changed, asked, "How does the theatre still run?" The anger that pulsed through Sammy Ashton's blood at the question wasn't logical, but she couldn't stop it. As artistic director of one of the oldest theatres in the city, probably in all of Camagvir, it was asked too often. She didn't even have time to answer as her client returned to the stage to resume his performance. She pushed the drape aside to better see her swordsman Koa fight the nobility who had paid handsomely to get on stage. The nobleman didn't care for acting, but wanted to learn fight choreography. She winced at his sloppiness as he got a little too close to Koa, who obviously held back. If there'd been an audience, they would have gasped like Sammy did, but they played to an empty house. Koa would make this work, after all. He trained the man step by painful step for a week, more than they normally did for these types of performances. He stumbled but regained his footing. Sammy's eyes shifted backstage to see who she might send on to interrupt, but her eyes only roamed over the patched curtains. No one to be found. Honestly, she could just go on and stop this if she needed to. No, trust Koa. Give him a moment, even if she didn't trust the client. That's it.
Well,
First, I don't want to be rude. You go first.
no, I was just going to say, I think first we should all say what genre we think this is based on the sample. I think that would probably be helpful.
Oh, that's a great idea. I will say I think it's cozy fantasy.
Okay.
Really?
I feel like I said something very silly right there, but that's my gut instinct.
That's fair. Jackie, what do you think?
I mean, I think it's a contemporary theatre geek novel that may, in fact, be a romance, but it's too early to tell.
Yeah, I'm getting like historical contemporary vibes about it. So some sort of, it doesn't feel like modern day. I don't think it's set today. I don't know. It doesn't feel set today, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, they do have a stage manager and fight choreography, but I guess that could also be historical, couldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what confused me, because it seemed like the nobleman, they used the phrase nobleman, so that immediately brings me yoink back into the past. And for some reason, I always think of noble people as like fantasy because I'm a D&D nerd. So like real world can't exist in my head. It's all D&D. And my one major note is like, obviously Koa held back. How? So I think that epitomizes how I feel about the piece, is like, we don't have enough info. We're not oriented enough, if that makes sense.
I agree. I feel like I grasp on what this story is supposed to be or what it's going to be. And I appreciate that they're trying to bring in some sort of like feelings for the main character, but I'm not understanding the character's feelings. Like, she's angry, but why is she angry? So I understand the whole heartache because of the theater. I used to do theater a long time ago, so I can kind of get behind that. But the idea that she's very mad right now, I'm not sure I quite understand why she's angry at the moment. Like, what in the present circumstances makes her feel this way, and I'm missing a little of her agency. Like, what is it that she wants? What are her GMC? What's her goals, motivations, conflict? Like, what is going on for her?
Yeah, I think I would agree with Anne. It's so tricky. We want the novel to start, with something happening and to engage us. And this certainly does kind of start in media res. It starts with stuff sort of happening, but there isn't quite enough connective tissue. It's just that balance of not getting very exposition heavy, but at the same time giving us enough so we can situate ourselves quickly in where and when we are.
And
well, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's interesting that you thought Sammy was angry, because I didn't pick up on that at all. And maybe says a lot about me.
Yes, she says that.
She told us she was angry.
Oh, well, that tells you a lot about I'm going to shut my mouth then.
I also have the document pulled up here so I can see it at the same time. So I guess if that might be cheating a little bit. So
Nope.
Well, I mean, I think Sammy is a character that I might quite like. I mean, I get the sense I might quite like her if I read on, but I'm just a little bit lost as to sort of who she is and what she wants. But I don't dislike the line level writing. I think it's good writing.
Yeah, this is, I think, one of those situations where we're not necessarily starting in the right place.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Do you,
as an update from Kelly, she has tried all the troubleshooting that StreamYard has offered, and she cannot figure out how to get her microphone or camera to work. So I think she might not be joining us this evening.
Curse ye, StreamYard.
Well, she could jump into the comments and give us her comments.
I guess that's an option if she wants to.
Just to make her life more difficult, because that's what I'm here for.
I think that's what we're all here for.
Do you want me to read the second one, or does someone else want to?
You do it so well. I feel like.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Yeah, I was going to suggest Anne as a needle to needle Anne, but I think, you're much, yes, you can read aloud.
Well, I do read these in particular with an Australian accent. So, that is the added bonus.
That is exactly the added bonus. Yes. I could attempt to do an accent.
Oh, yes, you do that. You do one in a fake Australian accent.
I can't do an Australian accent.
Well, neither can I, but it doesn't stop me.
You love accents, Anne.
Yeah, do one in an accent.
No. It's okay.
All right. Well, I'll do the next one, and maybe someone will give me a break in the one after. So again, it just says 2. Like, I don't know what this is. I've never seen it before, so bear with me. And it goes over a page.
It's the second one, yes.
Yes, it's the second one. But that's all I know. It's the second one. Okay, here goes. The whispers were deafening. Every morning for a week, I'd woken to them filling my head. I sat on the kitchen counter in my PJs, hands wrapped around a mug of tea, and looked out the window. Dawn was just creeping over the city, and soft grey light filled the alley below, which was a patchwork of patios, gardens, and basketball hoops wedged between the buildings. I shivered as I recalled the sensation of waking up, drenched in sweat, sheets twisted around me, my hands over my ears to block out the voices. I kept trying and failing to hang on to the dream. I remembered I was in a forest of some kind, surrounded by people, all urgently crowding around me, tugging on me, attempting to warn me of something. I could never seem to make out the individual words. I was experienced enough with magic to recognize the dream's uncanny nature. This was no ordinary nightmare. Poppy, my cat, hopped up on the counter and laid her sleek black body across my lap. At least someone in this household was content. That's right, Poppy, I told the cat's intelligent yellow eyes and pink nose. Today's the day. Today's the day. I jumped, nearly spilling my tea and startling Poppy. My mum, Sophia Thorne, strode into the kitchen, immediately busying herself with making her morning cup of coffee the first of many. As an ER doctor, she was well addicted. She peered into a large cast iron pot on the stove, which was bubbling cheerfully. Oh, good, it's almost ready. I set it to brew overnight for one of my patients. Just could use a little more rosemary, she muttered to herself. She pulled from the numerous dried herbs that hung from the ceiling. The antibiotics haven't been working. The perks of having a witch for a doctor. And scene.
Witchy.
Genre?
Well, fantasy.
Fantasy.
Yeah. Contemporary fantasy? Because she said ER doctor.
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay.
Well, I think anyone who has ever come to one of these before already knows my opinion. And if you'd like to go ahead and leave it in the comments, please feel free to do so. But
and my opinion. This one's actually the trifecta. This one's actually the trifecta of things.
It really is. We got the weather report.
The waking up. And the dream. And waking up from a dream. A troubling dream.
A nightmare. Kelly, can you hear us?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yay, Kelly!
So
Can't see her.
Kelly.
I don't know why it says that my
Kelly?
Well, we have
Right.
the person who wrote
don't-
this, who's here with us, and they are in the comments. They have claimed it. So it is contemporary fantasy. We were correct. Good job,
Yay.
everyone.
Good
Round
job.
of applause.
Yay!
So I'll just jump in. So I love the concept of it. I like the idea of like, I love witches. So anytime you give me a witch, I'm pretty much in. But for me, it's just, again, it's just not starting in the right place. If it starts with a character waking up, which this pretty much is what it's doing. Yes, she didn't just hit the alarm button, but this is the beginning of her day. She's just gotten out of bed. She's, thinking about this dream that she had. It's not really giving us a sense of who the character is or what they want. And she definitely lacks agency here. I think that we could definitely drop into this story at some other point and learn all of these things about her. I just don't think this is the opening of this book.
Yep, it's again, I say very good line level writing, very easy to read, very nice, clean text. But yeah, starting in the wrong place. I think you're throwing in every sort of throat clearing trope rather than just letting the story move. So I just think it's finding where the story really starts.
I wonder if it's young adult because we're in the point of view from the how do I forget her name?
I don't know if we have her name because it's first person.
Yeah, we only get Poppy the cat.
Because I wonder if it's young adult because I think it would be a cool intro or first page if Sophia Thorne is an ER doctor, but she's obviously also a witch. So I think it would be cool if she's in the hospital and instead of brewing tea and saying, "Oh, antibiotics aren't working," maybe she's over someone who's sick in the hospital and the antibiotics aren't working, and then she does a little witchcraft magic that only her daughter or son they see, and then we're introduced. Or I could be totally wrong.
I think
that could be cool.
Yeah, I don't think we know where this is going. But I don't think we could. Yeah, I think it's definitely in like a daughter's point of view. It's not in mom's point of view. So I don't know if we could change that.
Oh, it's
young
young
adult.
adult.
it is young.
Oh, okay, so it is young adult. Okay, so I don't know. Maybe it's the daughter take your kid to school day or take your kid to work day, and she watches her mom do magic, and then they get all the pitchforks and torches and all that. Anywho, the third one.
Okay, well, I think to sum this one up, I think it's a great concept. I think look again at like where it is. I'm betting your first chapter release probably your second chapter or your third chapter. So see where you're going and we'll go from there. But again, line level writing is great, and witches, I'm always here for our witches.
Is someone else going to read this one?
Okay. What? Oh gosh. Okay, I'll try. All right, you ready?
Yes.
Chapter 1. Should I do it in a British accent?
Yes, please do.
Okay, I'll try. It won't be very good, but we'll try. All right, chapter 1. The demigod from Mumbai. We don't have to become what our parents want us to be, but as my fellow porter goblins cornered me on the tube tracks below the city of London, I knew I'd screwed up. I'd thrown away the greatness I was destined for to languish as a mere porter goblin. Artie led the pack, his smirk betraying no undue leniency. I'd been caught in the act. I had seconds to choose a form of escape and rescue the kid Artie had hidden elsewhere. At the sound of a bat's wings beat, I swallowed hard. Mr. Thomas materialized from the dark, tall, gaunt, and glowering. Oh, joy. No, almost good deed ever goes unpunished around these beasts. That's him, sir, Artie said, addressing the vampire responsible for most, if not all, of the unsavory dealings on the underground. Hob, the traitor who'd been nicknamed our rightful prey. Mr. Thomas didn't react to Artie's proprietorial hour. Any lost children we found was meant for Mr. Thomas and his vampire mates. Instead, with his usual supercilious air, he drawled, "Ah, yes, you did say our catch had been diminishing in the last few years." "In the last 6 years," I thought with grim satisfaction. "Ever since I joined you lot, I've snatched children right from under your greedy noses." Nonetheless, I shrank against the dank wall of the underground passage when Mr. Thomas turned to consider me with his soulless eyes. "Hob, is it?" Mr. Thomas asked, through lips freshly covered in blood. "It seems you have been pilfering from our fine institution. I've just finished interrogating our captive. Now, why would a good porter goblin promise a lost kiddie's safety instead of handing him over or privately polishing him off?" As my goblin colleague growled, Mr. Thomas delicately grabbed at his upper lip. And that's it.
I quite like that, but we have to say what genre.
Well, obviously fantasy.
Do you think historical fantasy?
Maybe historical. I think it's middle grade.
Absolutely. I'd say definitely middle grade. Contemporary fantasy would be what I was thinking. It's on the tube stop. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, me too.
I really think it was the reading that no.
No, the reading matched very well.
Yeah, I thought.
Yeah, I liked how we were
fantastic.
immediately put into a place. Like I felt grounded, and there were immediate, like you knew very quickly what was at stake as well in one page, that he was trying to sneak kids out from underneath this vampire's nose and save them. We don't know why, but I trust that we'll find out. And I think we're thrust right into the story. It's great.
Contemporary fantasy. I have to say, I love goblins. I think goblins are the coolest. I have like a man crush on goblins. So this is something I would absolutely request and then probably send on to Kelly.
I actually have a question because it looks like the author is here. If VJ is the author, are you the author? Because is it middle grade or is it adult? Because I didn't pick up on the middle grade, but Kelly did.
Oh, good question.
And it's because I don't see any kids as protagonists. It's because it looks like the protagonists are, well, yes.
Goblin?
Yes, kidlit. Yes, middle grade.
Yes, goblins?
Yes, goblin.
Always yes, goblins.
What is the age group, VJ?
As YA.
Interesting. YA.
YA. Thank you.
Okay.
The voice to me was very middle grade, and the fact that it was about kitties. So I assume we will eventually, interesting, have some children as characters that will eventually come into it. I don't know. It felt very middle grade to me.
I can see why you were saying the voice does sound like a sort of a Neil Gaiman. I know we're not allowed to talk about him anymore, but that kind of voice.
Yeah.
But I'm not 100% sure that there's going to be young protagonists, although the author just said that the goblin is 16 and a 12-year-old will come in.
So I would probably, especially because monsters, I think, could be ageless in a way and be childlike. So I still would probably say this is middle grade. I think you're going to have a hard time with this YA if there's a 12-year-old character.
Yeah, that would be more middle grade.
Or what they're now calling tween or upper middle grade, which is, I don't know. But I wouldn't worry about that quite yet. I was pulled right into the story. I enjoyed it.
Same.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. I thought it was great. I'm gonna make a comment because I get to look. I'm looking at the page. I don't think you ever have to say "I thought." and put thoughts in italics, because we're already in the character's head the entire time. So everything that we're reading is basically what they're thinking. So there's no reason, in my opinion, to like separate those out. So, but that's just like nitpicky, like.
Yeah. Good comment.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I realized I have to add something to my wish list: goblins, because I love goblins, and I don't know if anyone's ever seen the movie Legend with I think it's Tom Cruise, but those are my goblins. Those 3 goblins. It's kind of like a heavy adult fantasy movie, but anyway, I don't want to steal any more time from like this thing we're doing.
All right, I think we can go to the next. Who would like to read the next one?
Well, how many accents have you got?
I could
Ian's
probably
got
do
a lot.
a southern drawl, maybe.
Yes,
Okay.
do it.
Do that.
I could try. It's, I'm not great at these. I'm not great. Okay, I'm just gonna try. Let's see. I got it. Let's see. It's like I'll have to get into it. No, I can't do it. I gotta get it into it in my head, and I can't get into my head. Someone get me on a southern thing. Anyone?
I can't do a southern.
Sweet tea.
Good day,
Sweet
sir.
Home Alabama.
Good day, sir. Like, that's still British.
That's British.
Right. Well, I'm from the deep north.
All right, I got it here. All right.
You got it.
The
Okay.
Just because you're in
swaying
Texas.
The swaying branches invite me deeper. My soft boots strike the uneven earth again and again. I force my legs to move faster, straining to reach the pack. Sunlight beats my brow and sweat slips down my temples. I risk an upward glance. I risk a glance upward. The sun approaches its zenith. Annoyance and anxiety pulse through my body. I can't be late for farm duty. My pace slows and the clack of claws grows quiet. The comforting stretch of fur lessens as the wolves race away. I allow myself a moment of rest. Reaching my arms above my head, I stretch my muscles. The pine scent calms my thundering heart as fury form circles back to me. The wolves easily navigate the rough terrain. Midnight leads with sleek black fur, nimble limbs, and powerful maternal instincts. 3 scruffy pups with gold eyes and wet black noses flank their leader. The 4th wolf, Sky, takes her position at my side. Sky's fur is soft brown except for a dark shadow that runs up her back to her snout and frames her keen blue eyes. The wind in the trees beckons freedom. I want to listen, to explore the forest depths, to know its secrets, to see the places our wolves go when they leave home. But hunters are the only ones who venture far beyond the clearing, and hunters are men. Anger flares at the execution. I thrum my renewed energy and want to continue with the pack. Sky noses my calf, reminding me it's time to go home. I'm allowed these brief excursions in the woods as long as I help with the crops in the afternoon. But I don't belong at the farm. I belong out here with the whispers and the wolves.
Wow.
Genre. What do we think on genre?
Historical something.
I think this one's YA.
I think YA, but what genre? I think I would say maybe like, I don't know, speculative, futuristic, maybe
I'm
even
thinking
apocalyptic a little bit. Like she's on a farm, she's not allowed out. I'm assuming it's a she.
I'm sorry, everyone's commenting on Anne's accents. No one is paying attention to what we are supposed to do.
That's so funny because I was like, oh man, the accent really made that. I was just like all on board with that. And I was like, oh, maybe it was the accent, but I like the wolves. The wolves, I want to know about the wolves. Give me some wolves.
So for me, we're starting with running. So I think maybe this is going to be fantasy because for whatever reason, a lot of the fantasy manuscripts that I see start with running. So there's some sort of running that's happening. Again, there's a lot of emotions that this character is feeling, but we're not quite grounded in like the setting and of what is happening to really understand the main character's emotions. So I think that this is a situation where we're either starting a little too soon or we're starting a little too late for this particular scene. And so we just need to we need a little more on either side to make us to understand like where we're going, what's going on, and to give this character a little bit more something in the story.
I agree. I think sometimes if you jump into the action without the why, you don't care about the character. There's no emotional connection. So you've got to have an understanding of why she's running or why she's there. And so grounding us a little bit more in the character first and the emotion of the character would really help.
And maybe this is obvious, but I want to know how she relates to the wolves. Like, obviously they're wolves, they're out there hunting something, but what are they hunting?
I think the writer might be in our comments, and
yes,
they mentioned it's a genre blend of fantasy and historical. So
it is
historical
YA.
fantasy.
I don't know if they said it was YA or not.
they haven't said.
I have such bad vision, I have to lean over. Kami Wright. Judge Judy. Kami Wright. Is it YA or adult? I mean, I don't want to hold up the whole thing, but I'm curious because I lost my train of thought.
Yes, multi-POV. So yes, YA, multi-point of view. So yeah, it seems like you have something that's really cute and interesting here. Just maybe think about where you're starting at. Is it a little too soon? Is it a little too late? And just give us a little bit more context of what's going on. And I think that you'll have a much stronger start.
And I think I might add, and I am looking at the pages, and I think Anne's reading helped a lot with the nitpick that I wanted to share. You're writing in the first person here, and I don't know if you are in the other POVs, but then you fall into a lot of the I plus verb sentence constructions. I'm allowed, I allow myself, I can, and it's like, it's not terrible. It's not like it's every second sentence, but I think you can do a line level edit when you get to the sort of final polish of the revision, because even in that first couple of lines, I force my legs to move faster. I mean, I risk a glance upwards. I can't be late. There's lots of I allow myself, it's just a lot. And I think you can rework those so the sentences are a little bit more varied. Oh, third person for the others. Yeah, I think it's not, that's typically a trap more in the first person than in the third person. So you can look at it in your third person sentence construction, but I think it'll probably be this character that you're having that sentence construction thing with.
All right. Next. Jackie, would you like to be our fifth?
Yes, where are we? We're on 5.
Number 5.
Okay, here we go. Patricia's husband was weak of mind and spirit. In other words, ideal. Snatching him had been such easy labor. Even more delicious was that he lived in isolation deep in the countryside. No convincing required, no cunning words needed to get this man far, far away from the demanding throngs she wished to flee. They now stood before the hill that was his. No, their home. Funny she had to keep reminding herself they were man and wife, considering the union was her own doing. In the moonlight, the hill loomed larger and darker than the dozens they'd crossed on their trek. Mist rose and fell on the ground, forming vague shapes that might have spelled out a message. Trees grew perpendicular to the steep incline. Row after row of dark growth covered the hill as high as she could make out. They were so uniform and parallel, and still the hill seemed one-dimensional. It reminded Patricia of a book she'd seen at a market once. When the storyteller turned the page, the paper unfurled to form a whole scene. A tree, a wolf, a girl cloaked in red. Another turn of the page and the first image folded into itself and a second emerged. a wolf with a full belly and no more little girl. This hill looked as if she could grab it by the corner and lift it whole to expose the grimy life teeming underneath. She couldn't wait to get her hands dirty. Patricia cast one last look behind her. Not a road or settlement in sight. No one would ever find her. She bit her bottom lip to contain how tickled she was. What a pity her fool of a mother would never know just how well things had panned out for her. That's it.
Gothic horror
Maybe.
or gothic well, it can't be romance if she's like, haha, I married this guy and now I'm gonna like drain the life out of him.
Oh no, I'm kind of into it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay.
It could be horror. It could be a sort of a
Dark fantasy
Paper.
or thriller. Or...
yeah. Yeah, because it's got that tinge of sort of dark humor in the voice.
Mhm.
That's what I was thinking.
And it's not YA, probably.
No, definitely
I-
not.
I would hope not. I wonder if the author is here in the chat.
Looks like
Literary
it.
horror.
Well, there you have it.
Called it. Is it Gothic because there's a hill? It looks like they're going to a manor. Those are just very Gothic-y tropes. But it doesn't feel modern day.
No.
Mm-mm.
No. Okay, so I was picking up
I'll
on
tell you the word that I was like, oh, this isn't modern, is where I stood in the market. It reminded Patricia of a book she'd seen at market once. That phrase, at market once. I was like, okay, this is fantasy or historical. It's not a contemporary world. And then also just such a, with the cut paper scene. It just, that to me did not seem of this world. So
It is not modern, according to the author. So
okay.
Don't keep us guessing. Is it Gothic? I mean, am I picking up what you're putting down? So what do we think?
Well, if it found its way into my inbox, I think I would keep reading. So
I love it.
I would too.
I would too. I would definitely keep reading.
I think so. Well, you better know not to be that guy.
You did a lovely job. So
Yes.
it was well done on a line level. The writing is just
I
really
will say, I think there's a great line here. I mean, I feel like the writing is very intentional, which I like. I think on the line level, it doesn't seem like there's anything wasted. I'm really intrigued by she can't wait to get her hands dirty.
Mhm.
And I
Yes.
also think this is a great character reveal. I'm really intrigued to find out more about this character. This last line, what a pity her fool of a mother would never know just how well things panned out for her. The fact that she sees her mother as a fool, but she's still sad that her mom she can't just kind of be like, I told you so to your mom. Yeah, I don't know. I think this is really intentional, smart writing.
Yeah, I agree.
And I do agree, but I'm going to be really nitpicky about something that threw me out. A word that threw me out for a second was when you talk about the hill being one-dimensional, but then you go on to compare it to the book, which is clearly 2- and 3-dimensional. And I think if you're saying the hill is flat, you're really saying it's 2-dimensional rather than 3-dimensional. So when I see one-dimensional, I'm like, oh, is this sci-fi? Like, what does that mean? That may have been your intention to throw the reader. So I'm not, if that was the intent, that's fine. But if it was a typo, I'm just pointing it out because I understand dark, parallel, flat as 2-dimensional. So I agree with what everyone else has said, but just look at that phrase because it was It just confused me.
All right.
I agree.
Next.
Thank you.
Is anyone else going to read one of these?
I can read
Yay.
if you want.
We do
Please.
want.
And
We're
also,
on
there's only
6.
so many on this document, and if we get through, there's more in the email, so we can go over to there.
All right, now, from birth, we're receptacles for pain. That long tunnel wail our first words, and in them we understand one another, bellowing the same dread-laden howl, all having that universal first thought, malformed and in a language before any we learn, innate, true, and pure. Help. When one asks themselves if they've lived this life right, that leads them to think on alternatives. We pine for what could have been, as if they never were, and thus are utopian, having never wronged us. But it's a waste of time. Living life right is being present, no more, no less. From birth, we're hungry for feeling, life itself, and to sate the inborn void. But what's good without being bad, if those terms apply at all? This life's binary, no joy without suffering, and we are to live while we're alive. Didn't you say that? I have a habit of looking at people and only seeing the wide-eyed skull beneath the skin, but lately I see faces, who they are now, not what we'll all be, and while there's no denying that, death emboldens me to live. Ironic, no, that I've preached this so long and only learned now on the day I die. But as you said, as long as you're alive today, there's a chance you're going to die today. I suck in air, open my eyes to nature's hissing fervor, scan the courtyard from my place on the bench. Just another nonchalant in the shrine of nonchalance, though I and the monks seem the only ones not minding the downpour. Your scrawled handwriting a weight in my jacket pocket. Ghosts, how they whisper, above and below, as rain falls like memory over the once dormant synapses of my brain. Are you here? Will you strike?
Whoa.
At first, I thought this was trying to be like a nonfiction.
Me too.
Me too.
But then as we go on,
I think that I kind of liked where we ended up. I'm intrigued by the end, but I think I needed to be a little bit more grounded in the beginning. You're just in this person's characters. Don't even know if it's a person. I think so. Head at the beginning, just these thoughts that are very clinical almost, or academic. And I was a little unmoored at the beginning. I'd love to be a little bit more grounded in character and place. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I think character, or at least for me, just needing to know who we are, because like you, I didn't know who we were. Are we even alive? Because at a moment I thought maybe we were death, and then unmoored is the perfect word. I don't want to steal. I'm going to say Kelly said it the way I feel, much better than I could have.
So for me, I struggled with them talking to me. You are this. Are you here? Are you, you. I don't particularly enjoy that breaking of that fourth wall. So that didn't really work for me. I to agree with the others, like I felt ungrounded. I wasn't really sure where we were going. It's kind of this void of like thought process at the front. I think it's trying to do something, and I'm not sure that it's working here. I think it might be, I don't know what the story is. I'm not exactly sure what the genre is either at this point. So I'm not sure if this is quite working the way whoever the writer is intended it to.
Yeah, I share there we go. Southern adult literary horror, bouncing between Virginia and Japan. 9 full requests so far, fingers crossed. Congratulations.
That's awesome.
So I mean, if you have lots of full requests, you'll probably get lots of comments from the people who are reading more pages than we are. So I don't know how much help we're going to be. Picking up on the comment Anne made about you, I always find it tricky when you're using that word, because by the end of the page, you appear to be talking to the person who wrote the letter, not to the reader. But that threw me, like I wasn't sure who you was. And that made me then think, I kind of think I see what you're doing, kind of, but maybe a little more specificity in the questions you're asking, not to make it a completely different story, not to say, I woke up and I did this, because we don't want that, but like just a touch more grounding, because I think the language is lovely, and I'm not surprised that people who have more pages than this are interested in reading it. But yeah, with just that one page, I'm struggling a little bit as to, I mean, immediately I go literary because it's all in the voice and the line level, but what are you then promising? So, oh, that's interesting, Scott. So, interesting. Well, I'd be curious to hear what other agents say about it.
Yeah, I will say it made more sense for me reading it than I wasn't confused that he was addressing like another character, because I was reading it on the page. So I think listening to it may have been a little confusing for that. But I'll tell you where I started getting really invested as a reader. It was at this paragraph. I suck in the air, open my eyes to nature's hissing fervor, great line, scan the courtyard from my place on the bench. So I'm grounded all of a sudden. Just another nonchalant in this shrine of nonchalance, though I and the monks seem the only ones not minding the downpour. Okay, I'm like, monks, downpour, I'm like curious. I want to know more. Your scrawled handwriting await in my jacket pocket. So to me, he's clearly talking to someone in his past who's in his head, who he's carrying this letter around. That paragraph, I was just like, okay, I'm interested.
Does this comp to the White Lotus?
Oh, interesting. I've never seen that, and people always say, watch the White Lotus, so I'm curious.
Is that what Scott was responding to? Was that my comment or Kelly's comment?
Kelly's, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he hasn't seen the White Lotus.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm not the only one. But yeah, very well written. Definitely something I would request more of, if having more pages. So I'm not surprised, like Jackie said, to see you have 9 full requests. I feel like I steal everything you say. Just repeat it.
It's okay.
It's not copyrighted.
I'm such a mediocre white man. So I'm gonna mute myself now.
I think we could go on to the next one. Kelly, do you want to do that one too?
Sure. Stone mountains rose like sentries surrounding the lowlands. Whether to jail us in or to keep others out was always the question. Although over the past few years since Papa's death, the squalor of our life felt more and more like the latter. The sky overhead roiled with vicious black clouds, ready to baste the inhabitants in another layer of muck and rain, stir up the sulfur springs until they overflowed and spread their noxious filth over the valley. All of which meant I had to be quick. Wind tugged curls free from my braid, pasting them to the sweat on my neck. I crouched, the grit of the rock biting into my bare feet. I brushed the damp palms over my wool skirt, fixated on that flesh of color just overhead, a bright green stem and its snowy white flower, bold against the monochrome gray. I was almost close enough. The problem was in the almost part. "Willona, what are you doing?" Caden called up to me. Even without looking at him, I imagined the pinch of his heavy brows, the way his mouth would turn down in worry. And oh, how he liked to worry. "It's fine. I'm almost have it." Usually, finding OSHA root flowers didn't require these types of gymnastics. but after the mudslide last week, my go-to route had been obliterated. I'd studied the cliff face before me, noting every groove and cranny. It was only a 3-foot jump. There was a narrow lip of rock a few inches deep that would provide a toehold, and a crevice in the stone above that I could catch. And if I only focused on those key points in each precise move, I wouldn't have to think about the 20-foot drop onto hard rock I'd face if I slipped.
Okay, this one has to be YA, right?
Mm-hmm. Has to.
Yeah.
I got one right. Yay.
YA what, Jackie?
What?
What's the genre, though?
Oh, well, fantasy, but I'm assuming it's kind of other worlds fantasy. I'm assuming we're not doing contemporary historical because I assume an alternate world.
I feel like it's a little dystopian too, with the way the mountains either jailed them in, right? It's that idea of like they're in a surrounded city of some sort, so it gives that dystopian type of feel.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I like the line level writing a lot. I really can. It's very. I keep saying this: clean, tight, easy to get into. I think the piece for me that's missing is we know what she wants to do on a concrete level. She has to get this flower thing, but we don't know why. So we don't know what the stakes are that are attached to it.
The why. We're missing the why. If she would have, or the author, whomever, would have given us the why we needed to do this quickly, it would just immediately turn up the heat.
Right.
Of this scene.
And I think that this to me has a typical first person traps too, where you're doing, I crouched, the rock biting my bare feet. I brushed my lips. I was almost close enough. There's just a lot of, if you're, this is like I struggle with first person for this reason, is she's describing her actions. But why would she describe them? Because she knows what she's doing. Like, you're in her head. So why would she be narrating what she's doing to herself? Because she's not talking to anybody. So who's she talking to? Makes me very aware of myself as the reader. So I almost, I feel like you could just remove the person, like the, have her, instead of describing her actions, describing the what she needs, why, and where she is. And I think you can do that. I think it can be done. It just needs some, what did you use a great phrase earlier, Jackie, with the first person, like just finessing it a little bit more, something like that. But also I would read some first person fantasy to see in kind of action type scenes, how they describe what's happening, so that you're not so much describing her actions, but more the world around her. Although I do think there's a nice little drop of information there that the rock's biting into her bare feet. I'm sitting here going, why is she in bare feet? Like, that's a nice little tidbit of world building.
And actually, I might add there, because we've talked about first person a couple of times tonight. And if you're writing in first person, obviously, there's things you can do in first person to sort of avoid some of the traps. But it's also worth thinking about why you've chosen a particular POV for a particular piece. Because I remember this, and I guess it was around the Hunger Games time, everyone was writing YA dystopian in first person, often in present tense, because that's just what everyone was doing. And for a lot of the stories, there was really no reason why first person served the story or present tense served the story. And I know it sounds like baby talk to talk to a group of people who are obviously writing and say, well, really think about, your POV and your verb tense. But it can make a very big difference. It can make it much harder or much easier for you to tell your story if you think those things through, and I'm not saying that about this piece, this is just a general comment, that if you're writing in the first person, think about how does that serve your story? Does it help you develop the character? Does it help you develop the setting, or does it make it harder? What if you tried third? You know, what would be the downside or the upside of that? I'm just becoming more of a fan of really thinking those things through, because, you know, I think with the market the way it is, people want to just be drawn into something and immersed in the story so quickly. And if you've chosen like a POV that is awkward or that you're struggling with, and I'm not saying that about any writers here, I'm just saying it in general, it just makes it harder. So just throwing that out there. Oh, look, I've brought everyone to a halt.
Lane, did you have any thoughts?
No, I co-sign everything you say, and I just want to comment, Kelly, the bare feet bite. Yeah, that totally. Yep, I co-signing exactly what Kelly said. I have my pen out and just signed.
All right, do we want to do another one?
It's 7:57, so I think we are out of time.
Okay. We're going to open it up left for questions for the last few minutes, maybe?
Yeah, sure.
Yes. If anyone has any questions besides what the meaning of life is.
We could probably remove this excited for this live.
Yes, I mean, it's been there the whole time.
I will say, though, I love first pages sessions. I think they're really informative, and I don't know. I just think they're fun. And I think thank you for submitting pages, because it takes a lot of courage, but it's a lot of fun.
And thank you to everyone who...
A lot more, too, in the email, if we want to do another one of these. Like
we should do another one. Yeah,
absolutely.
But I was also going to say thank you to those not only who submitted pages, but who identified themselves and discussed them with us, because you don't have to do that. And that's above and beyond to really be able to have that dialogue. So we're very, because it doesn't just help you, it helps everyone else who's listening. So thank you for that too.
Yes, agreed. Thanks.
Any last questions that people might have, other than when are you doing it again?
The last Wednesday of every month.
If we're not buried under 3 feet of snow, as indeed I am.
No, tell me about it. I still have to dig out my car.
I tried that. It didn't go well.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like 20 below, so all the snow is frozen now, and yeah. Okay. So we are hopping off all. Thank you for joining us on this live AMA First Pages Pass. We will post when we're doing this again, but like I said, last Wednesday of every month, 7 p.m. Eastern, even though it's Thursday. So we will see you then. We'll catch you on the flip side. Bye.